All right. Well, welcome to the Consciously Melanated Queens Uncover Your Divine Purpose graduation program with some incredible queens about to just share their light with you all. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Consciously Melanated Queens. So, Consciously Melanated Queens is a community to support young women of color in their journey of uncovering their divine purpose, as well as holistically healing. A lot of times we focus on everyone else and what everyone else needs, and also this idea of hustle and being super busy all the time. And that is not healthy, nor is it sustainable over time. And in my personal experience, in my own journey, I learned this the hard way. Just take it back 2018. I was really thinking that I had figured some things out and I decided to go back to college. And unfortunately, about 3 months into college, um, my dad needed to come live with me. And over a period of time, he ended up getting really sick. But he just tried to tell me that it was like um, poison ivy because of all the different eruptions that went out of his skin. And so I didn't think it was poison ivy. I thought it was something a little bit more than that. But he was like, you know what? Um, in this particular season in your life, I really want to be here for you. And I haven't really been here for you in the past. So I really want to support your journey of finishing out college. And so I was like, wow, like finally, after all these different things that have happened in my life, I'm finally going to be able to have some kind of support. And so I was really excited, but then he started getting sick. And I was like, well, I'm going to keep trying to go to college. Maybe I'll try to, encourage him to go to the hospital. But if you know anything about people of color in the hospital, then you know that there's this kind of history. And so our family was no different. We really didn't feel like we could trust any healthcare professionals. So that was a struggle. Eventually, though, he did end up going to the hospital. I drove him to the hospital, and we found out that he had something else, but they didn't really say specifically that it really was this or it wasn't that. It was just kind of like a maybe it's this. And over a period of time, it got worse. He ended up not being able to really walk, which meant he got fired from his job. And that also meant that I had to financially take care of not only myself, but also him now and all his stuff, his medication, his food. I was even almost like a nurse for him, and it was a lot. It was a lot on top of like 18 credit hours and 2 jobs. And I was very exhausted. So I kept dragging myself along and, like 18, 20-hour days because I knew at the end of the day, the rent had to get paid. I tried to talk to different people. They were not really caring about that, about what I was going through. So I knew that I was just going to have to figure it out. And unfortunately, my dad's health declined even further to the point that his arms and legs were not even really movable. And in one instance, in about 11 p.m., I was hanging out with a friend, and I came back to the apartment at 11 p.m., and he was unconscious on the floor. And it was very, very hot in the apartment because apparently he had fallen while he was cooking. And so I thought he had like passed away because at this point it was just so much stuff that was going on. And so eventually I ended up calling up the emergency line, I guess, and they sent over an ambulance. And I followed him to the hospital, and the doctor then told me and my friend that they weren't sure he was going to make it. He was barely conscious, and his blood count was very low. And that skyrocketed a very horrible depression. And I remember just not being able to even feel alive. I remember not even feeling myself um, in my body. And I just felt really, really exhausted. And I had a therapist at the time, which is very interesting. But her notes and other things of what I should do at that particular time was not helpful to someone that didn't even feel like they had any energy just to get out of bed. So um, I was still trying to be in communication with the doctor, only to find out that they were still trying to run tests, and this would last for weeks on end. Mind you, I still had school and the jobs to keep up with this no energy, which meant that something was going to have to give, and that something ended up being college, um, which over a period of time ended up being a good decision at that particular time, on top of all the financial things that I was going through. So, in about a month later, I ended up finding out that the doctor said that he was starting to recover, but his diagnosis was kidney failure. And so that really completely changed the trajectory of my life and just how I viewed things, because I felt like at this point in time, I don't really know what is what. He was like my main support system at the time. So I just was like, okay, I need to figure out what I'm about to do, because he's still at the hospital. I don't know how long he's going to be at the hospital. He still needs financial support, and this is just a lot. So, in a series of events, I ended up actually traveling to Arizona, I think for like 2 weeks, and I met my biological father. And then I went to Houston, and I thought I was going to take a job in Houston that was paying a really good amount of money. And then from there, I went to Okinawa, Japan, and met the love of my life. And then I went to Los Angeles, California, and read a book called The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, which just completely exploded my mind about where I was going in my political journey, and gave me a lot of sense of direction and understanding of all the different things of what I was going through and had gone through. And so, whew, after that, I moved back to North Carolina, and I started working at a race equity organization. And that really helped me get a lot of the skills and the training of, and I would say confirmation on what I was supposed to do in my own journey. But if only I had a, coaching program to kind of give me a lot of the things that I now know, and um, hope to support young women of color, and, bring them together so they can bring their own knowledge and their own wisdom together, and support each other as well. Um, if I had a support system, I don't think that I would have gotten to a lower aspect of how I felt at that time. And there's nothing that I could have done about my father, but just knowing that um, I definitely would have been able to feel supported, loved, cared about, and begin to heal from a lot of the past trauma that then came up from feeling alone and abandoned, because I had only one person that I thought was going to be my support system, and my mother wasn't in the picture at the time. So consciously melanated queens comes from a place, from a person that has really gone through a lot of different things. That's just one season, and knowing with the intention that this is necessary in those different travels that I shared, which later I also went to London, Paris, and other places. I met some incredible women of color that shared a lot of those same experiences, not exactly the same, but similar, of, severe trauma. And unfortunately, in some of those, death of different family members due to health reasons. So it's really about recognizing, what our purpose is, and allowing that to really drive and have clarity in who we are and why we are here. So with that, I would really love to bring up a very incredible queen who went through the Uncover Your Divine Purpose coaching program. And she is here to talk about what it means to live in your divine purpose. And this is Queen Chanel LaValle. Yes, hey, Queen.
Hey, hello.
Yes, all right.
Do
Well,
you want
I'm
me
gonna
just
let
to begin?
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you do you, and I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here.
Okay. So, hello, graduates. First of all, I just want to congratulate you on making the choice to prioritize yourself, well-being, and nurturing your purpose by walking towards your divine purpose. My name is Chanel LaValle. My tribal affiliations are Ani and Nakota. And I'm a current senior at Salish Kootenai College in Montana, and I'm currently student teaching in Great Falls, Montana. So I joined Purpose Coaching because I love to grow as an individual. And the dynamic of Purpose Coaching happened to fit perfectly into my life. Angela just explained the intent of her divine purpose coaching and just the passion that she has behind it. And her passion and vision was just so radiant. I knew that signing up would be valuable. And so walking into divine purpose is just a beautiful gift that Angela has brought out in me. And she connected to me right when I needed her guidance and coaching. And so, without judgment, she just helped me to become an empowered individual. And, before crossing paths with Angela, my understanding of purpose was unclear. Um, so her wisdom just helped me to be more confident and to take pride in ownership of my purpose. Um, I just also really appreciate her taking, going a step further and taking that time to find resources that have helped me grow and achieve my goals. So beyond her coaching, she is my friend, and hearing small parts of her life experience made me that much more confident in her leadership and ability to bring out only the best in me and others. So, to say the least, she is a boss lady. So, my divine purpose is to educate, spread knowledge, and to advocate for those who cannot fight for themselves. I feel that my purpose, it's not a job description, but instead I use my experience, gifts, and knowledge to help the people in the environment that my spirit leads me to. So it is important to live with purpose because bottom line is you matter and you deserve to open up your gifts and to embody all that you are. Your purpose is your spirit leading you down a path of ultimate pure happiness. And, I think sometimes when life is full of tribulations, we lose sight of who we really are and we start to believe the negativity and quickly pass up the positive. Um, since I have a background in education, a lot of my beliefs stem around the education field. And in education, we talk about having a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. And so a growth mindset is knowing no matter the obstacle, you can overcome and positively evolve yourself. With the growth mindset and the ability to see things in a positive light despite the hardship, we become closer to our purpose, to ourselves and our purpose. And so every detail of our life, just from my personal experience, I believe has a reason. And you just have to believe that, the good and bad serve us even when we don't feel like it. And so anyways, by completing the assignments that Angela had me do when I was doing the purpose coaching, I was able to gain more insight on what was leading me to my greater path to my purpose. And so one assignment in particular was to write about my role model, and the characteristics of my role model is very distinct to what I aspire to be. And not only did I identify these qualities that I admire in this person, but Angela showed me that I embody similar qualities and have the same potential as my idol Michelle Obama. And so yeah, another assignment that stood out to me was her having me write the autobiography. And let me tell you, 1 second, sorry guys. So I wrote about a particular memory in high school, and I realized by responding to her question in this assignment, I figured out a huge part of my purpose and how it helps others. So the question was very simple. It was, who do you want to help? And I just want to share my response with you because that experience of what I wrote about has followed me to this day. And I'm sure we've all had moments like that in our life that spoke on behalf of our divine purpose. And so this is what I wrote. So I have always felt happy when helping children who lack support from families. I have met many young indigenous youth who have faced hardship. I see something beautiful from each young person I encounter, especially with this type of background. Our young people have such strong resilience in their bones. And I believe it takes one good adult, role model, mentor to change their entire mindset. My junior year in high school, I read this book called The Catcher in the Rye. And I didn't really apply myself in high school, so for the most part anyways. And so it was kind of odd that I paid close attention to this one. But my biggest takeaway in the book was from the main character, Holden. And I'll just say Holden hates just about everything in society in this book. And we learn a very different side of him by the end of the story. And this side stuck with me ever since reading the story. And so he admitted that he would want to catch children that carelessly run around in the rye. And so this is metaphorically speaking that he wanted to save the innocence within children. And that's how I feel. You know, I want to positively influence children while they are young. You know, our children are sacred, and many of them lose hope, their innocence, because of the negativity from people, life, and the world. And so I expanded on this thought by answering the following question, which is, why do you want to help these people? And I responded, you know, I want to help these children because they deserve the world and they need to understand why they are important and how each of them have a gift to give. You know, our children are the future, 100%. No one can change that, and they will have the power to change the world for the better. So me leading by example is the way to display authentic, truthful, and kind-spirited leadership for our youth. So I wanted to share this assignment because without Angela's coaching, I would have not taken the time to write that. And these simple questions made me closer to my purpose and has helped me take pride in that. So Angela has really helped me understand what I would regret not doing in my life. And I would regret not trying to achieve my dreams. And I tell young people in my life all the time that their dreams are achievable if they believe in themselves. 100% believe that. So anyways, you know, who am I to preach something like that if I don't shoot for my own dreams? So I personally feel like teaching is a safety net and it's dear to my heart. But the thought of settling for teaching makes me feel really sad because there's so much I want to try to do before it's too late. So one of my goals is to attend Harvard School of Education, and applying to Harvard and getting accepted would fulfill one of my values, which is the quality of receiving a good education. And I believe Harvard would really force me to set myself to a standard that will make me proud of myself. And so, you know, if I can graduate from Harvard, I know then that I can achieve limited possibilities. Also, knowing that I actually earned it and through perseverance and hard work. And so Anyways, Harvard really sets the standard to receive a quality education, and that's the type of environment I want to grow in. And so, that is what I am challenging you to do, is to always grow, aim high, and understand that you are worthy and deserve the happiness and love you give to others. I believe in each of you because you're here and you made it to this graduation. Your persistence in getting to this point speaks volume on your character. So you are loved, appreciated, admired. You are admired by me. And I just want to congratulate you again on walking toward your divine purpose. Thank you.
Yes. And okay, Harvard. Yes, okay, Harvard. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Well, thank you so much, Queen Chanel. And we're going to take a 2-minute break and then we'll be right back. And we back, and we back, and we back. So, I don't know if you've heard of the quote, to heal a woman is to heal a nation, but that's one of the most empowering quotes that, you know, here at Consciously Melanated Queens, we definitely uplift. So I hope you're enjoying yourself thus far. Shout out to Queen Chanel. And, this has been a journey. These incredible queens have gone through 4 weeks, not consecutively, so about a couple of months, really, really seeking and understanding self, purpose, healing, and that's not a small feat at all. So this is really a space to honor them and be excited for this next season in life that's about to be lit as hell. Like, it's just about to be out here, okay? Like, we all about to be out here, period. So I'm excited to go ahead and uplift our first queen here, Queen Alex. and sharing, a little bit about herself and her divine purpose statement. Hey, Queen.
Hey.
All right, I'm
How
gonna
are
let
you?
you. I'm doing good. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I got to eat my wings that I was waiting on, so I'm good now.
Yes, the weeks came through. Yes.
Even though the food was cold, but I'll let them pass. They teenagers. They was nice to go pick it up for their aunt.
You gotta live and you learn, at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and let you tell your spiel, and then I'll be back.
Okay. So, like Angela said, I'm Alex, Alexandria for some people. And so I joined purpose coaching really to align with what I was already feeling. So I was already feeling like I needed to leave the child welfare industry to get away from that and really just do something that aligned with me and what I wanted to do with my life. So before going through this, let's say we say it's 4 weeks, but it was really like, oh, I don't know, like a couple months. And especially like when you're healing and you're going through that journey, it's tough. There's like weeks where you just like, no, I don't want to do this, dog. Like I'm done. And so it's been really nice to just have other like women and individuals do this with me. So for me, joining this was really about like losing the guilt of putting myself first. So as a Black woman and especially an aunt, I feel sometimes I feel really guilty when I decide to do things for myself and not think about other people, my family. And so really focusing on that and aligning with my purpose of helping the community I live in, and especially for Black and brown youth, and having that healing and tapping into their purpose and getting them skills and resources that I never had as a teenager. But knowing that it's okay to do that, and it's okay as an aunt to be like, no, I don't want y'all to come over today, or no, I don't have the space to hear about X, Y, and Z, and not feeling guilty about it, or following my dreams of traveling and living abroad. So really, this helped me align with everything and kind of lose that guilt sense that I tend to carry. And so I stuck with this process because one, I was taught once you start something, you don't quit, no matter how hard it gets. So you keep going and you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And so you keep working. And so that was really hard at times when you're battling your limiting beliefs, when you're like, okay, am I really worth this? Like, is it really worth me doing all this stuff for myself? And so that was tough, but ultimately I have learned to put myself first. And it's been a great journey, and it's going to continue to be a great journey. And then am I seeing results? Absolutely. Like I have 8 nieces and nephews, and I love them to death. But they know that sometimes Aunt Alex will text them and be like, "Nope, I am not on aunt duty. You can call me on Saturday, and I will return to aunt duty then. Like this is me time. This is time for me to take care of myself." And so, personally, in my life, how this has really shown up for me since joining the program is I recently accepted a fellowship to start a nonprofit. And so, I really have been diving into that work of starting a nonprofit. I've been aligning with people in my community here in Kansas that will help me with that nonprofit and getting what I want, and how I do that. And just even like working to help myself in making sure I'm healthy. And so learning how to eat better foods, learning about like how, food isn't always about meat, and it's really about, vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. So really focusing on my overall well-being and not just my mental health. So my physical health, my spiritual health, all that stuff. So this has really showed up for me in those ways. And it continues showing up, like honoring my feelings, honoring that I'm a queen, I'm a goddess, and making sure like the kids in my life understand that about themselves, and they're putting their best foot forward, and they're working hard for everything that they need to do. And so I am really thankful for this program and really being able to be chosen to work along with Angela, because it has inspired me, and I have seen the changes like within my own family with my nieces and nephews and how they look at things. So thank you so much. And I am super excited to continue on this journey. And I have 4 amazing people in my life for the rest of my life.
Yes, and yes, nonprofits. Yes, nonprofits. Yes. And you touched on like taking time for yourself, which we definitely, as women of color, just stray away from. Like, I don't know why it's like not even second nature. It's like a fifth nature, sixth. Not. It's not even on the table a lot of times. It's not even on the calendar. So, it's really important that we are making space for our time, not necessarily just this program, but in general, like, taking a shower, taking a bubble bath and not feeling some type of way about that, like eating healthy and like saying this is something that I need to do for myself. Another thing you touched on is the self-worth piece. Do we even feel worthy of taking time for ourselves? Like that's a really huge piece, and it's so insidious. And it seems like, oh, that's common sense. Yeah, of course I'm worthy of that. But are your actions really showing that? Are you really showing up for yourself in the ways that you say will make you feel worthy? So I love that you touched on that and the holistic wellness piece, because it's not just about the mental health that has a root. The physical health has a root, the spiritual health has a root, so we have to address those things as well. Yes, I'm so excited for you, Queen Alex. You already know, special place in my heart, and I'm so excited for these next steps that you're about to be taking. Nonprofit is one of them, but I know you got multiple things going on, so I'm ready. I'm here for it. I'm gonna start putting my coins to the side to start investing as well. So just go ahead and shine bright, and continue doing what you do and being who you are authentically. All right, so next we have Queen Niche. Yes. Thank you, Queen Alex. All right, Queen Niche, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the floor. Much love to you.
Thank you. Well, hello, everybody. And Queen Alex, somehow you just always confirm the reason why I am here and I'm present and I continue to show up. You literally spoke just to my overall thought process and everything that I have going on, and then to the nonprofit. Girl, shout out. We will be connecting and sending numbers and sending love and much support. I look forward to everything that comes to fruition, everything that you've been hoping and working for. I look forward to just seeing it all come together. And so, hello, everybody. My name is Queen Niche, or Niche, Manisha, whichever one you guys want to call me. And then one of my reasons for entering this program, honestly, I still to this day don't really know how I ended up on the Consciously Melanated Instagram page, but somehow in the middle of the night, at the tip of the hour, about 2 o'clock, I ended up on this page and just literally going through the profile and reading some of the quotes, and it just started to speak to my soul. And then literally I saw the post about the group starting. And for me, something just said, fill out the application. See what it's about. Do something for you. You always focus on everybody around you. You always uplift everybody. And I started to realize that sometimes it's harder for me to eat my own words. And so I noticed that I can give it all day. I can preach to you all day. I can give somebody else everything, but I can't take it in return. And I can give everybody else grace, but I can't give myself grace, right? And so one thing for me was just really, with this program, as challenging as it was, just really staying focused and trying to balance my work life, my home life, being home and working, and then starting a new program where I had no choice but to literally put the magnifying glass on myself. I think for me, that was one of the most challenging things because, again, I'm so used to healing everybody else that sometimes when I look in the mirror, I can see the broken pieces, but I don't necessarily know how to heal those broken pieces, right? And so for me, this program just came right at the perfect time and helped me to just see a clearer vision. Like I kind of knew where I was headed. I knew where I wanted to go, just a hint of it. I knew that I wanted to change directions while still remaining connected to my babies, but I couldn't really figure out what exactly it was that I wanted to do. And then so for me, one of the main reasons that I stuck with the process was because I genuinely enjoyed being in this sacred space and being around a bunch of other queens who literally all were here for the same reason. It wasn't that crab in a barrel mentality. Oh no, I don't want you to do this. No, I don't want you to do this. It was literally like, girl, come on in here and get this blessing. Come on and get this uplifting that we all may need this week, or listen to what your sister has to say, or listen to what your next queen has to say, so that you can digest it. And for once, you can work on you, right? And then through this program, I started doing a lot of different things, meditating. And one of my favorite things to do now is to just have conversations with myself in the mirror. I will literally talk to myself for about 3 to 5 minutes, especially when I feel like I'm low, and so sometimes for me, just looking and talking to myself in the mirror just kind of brings back that attitude, like, girl, you got it. Don't worry about anybody else, just kind of focus on you. And so one of the big things that I took from this program was just living unapologetically for me, like not really caring about what everybody has to say. Like, I've literally lived my whole life hoping that everybody was happy for me and hoping that everybody was proud of what I'm doing. And somehow, somewhere, I kind of forgot about me. And so for me, just living for me and honestly walking in my own shoes with more confidence, and knowing that no matter what I do, how I do, what I dream, what I vision, it's going to come to fruition because it's meant for me. It's meant. Nobody else can take that from me, no matter how they may try or how close they may be to what I want. What's meant for me is going to be for me. And so, Angela, I can't thank you enough for everything, for the guidance, for the for the patience. I'm sorry. It's been a journey for me, but I promise you I'm working on it, and I can't wait to continue. And then just to speak on my life mission, I am a goddess of the mind whose purpose in life is to teach those around me the importance of love, laughter, and how to receive and reciprocate love. I am here to rebuild our communities through breaking generational curses and healing our women. So for me, that's just everything that I wanted to do. And it's all just kind of starting to come together. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ooh, that was so beautiful. Yeah, and the spirit led, sometimes, you touched on that. Sometimes we have our intuition telling us exactly what we need to do, giving us that little push, and all we need to do is listen to it. But sometimes we want to be stubborn. We want to be like, I know you said that. Like we are always asking for guidance, right? Like, can you give me a sign? And then you get a sign, and then it's and then you don't want to accept the sign. You don't want to accept the sign. Like, you're the one that asked for the sign anyway. So that was a really, really huge point too, because a lot of times, and you said that more in the beginning, like a lot of times we do that where we're like, was this supposed to be for me? You know that was supposed to be for you. You know what you've been asking for. Like, why are you
playing? Here it is.
Exactly. So I'm just so happy to have been a part of your journey. Thank you for choosing me to be a part of your journey. And like you said, you didn't know how that happened, but but I'm glad it did. I'm glad that you were able to come around and meet with other queens and really share your authentic self and really realize, hey, I'm not really operating in 100% my potential and my purpose. And you know what? I need to make some shifts because, like you said, like it's hard, like that's difficult. But also, as you said, what is meant for you will be for you, period. Like,
period, sis.
So I'm really, really happy and I'm really excited to see where you're about to go. I already have heard a lot about what your visions are when you shared in the group. And I'm just really, really excited to see in the next even 3 months how your life is really about to just explode. Okay, so I'm here for it. Thank you so much for your beautiful energy and continuously being authentic in who you are and unapologetic in who you are. And just continue to do that and be, all that you can be, but also challenging yourself as you are already starting to do. So I'm excited for you and thank you so much. And next we have Queen Tyranny. Yes. All right. Hi.
Hello, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. um, my name is Queen Tyranny. I'm so excited to Chanel. That was very exciting to see that you finally found your purpose, especially with the ongoing battle of the fight, you know. Um, I'm very thankful for the group. I'm very thankful for everyone that I've came across. I'm very thankful for Angela. It's been wonderful. This group has been such a uplifting inspiration for me. It's definitely picked me up when I was down. You know, I'm so used to momming, as a lot of you all know. Mom every day. Mom. And I'm a stay-at-home mom, so that's all I get caught up in is momming. So anyway, I've been having a hard time with becoming conscious of a lot of things that I was going through, but didn't know how to deal with, and didn't know how to accept it and move on from it. So this has been very life changing for me. Honestly, it's been so positive for me, and I'm so thankful. But I still haven't found my actual divine purpose, but I did find my micro purpose. And that is definitely reaching out to other young women who are single mothers or mothers with disabilities that have the same mindset. You know, they're stuck in that cloud of gloom and they can't get out of it. They can't undo anything that's going on because I know where that comes from. You know, I can speak to that place. And I want to help Angela and help all of us reach out and encourage and coach and show them that there's more to it than just that you are special, you are someone. You are more than just a mother. You are more than just a person with a sick disability. You're more than you think about yourself. You know, you have a special place in this world for a reason. And for me personally, I'm going to shout that out. And one thing I have learned from this group is to definitely listen to my ancestors and my intuition. You know, I've been on this spiritual journey as well with God and also this journey with astrology. It's just been amazing for both. And how far I've came with both of those things. So before I get off of here, because I am at dinner, I'm sorry, it's our date night, stick around. um, but before I get off of here, my life mission statement was to, I am a kind, nurturing, loving, sweet person who wants to help other melanin queens and kings that have been traumatized by family generation curses and neglect or abuse of any sort, to help them regain their self-love and self-purpose regimen, and to always let them know that they are someone special. You don't have to stay at the bottom, no matter what they're doing in your life. You always have to look up. I just want to say thank you, ladies, and I hope you all keep in touch. And I'm meeting my sisterhood queen, okay?
Aw, wait. Aw.
Wait. Aww.
Yes, and thank you, Queen Tyranny. We will let you go ahead and continue with that. We already have our girls trip that we're trying to come together with, so you already know Cancun or Puerto Rico. We're about to be out here.
I told my sister to get with the program. That poor thing, she's so busy, so I can't be mad at her. She's supposed to be doing it tonight. I'm gonna send her a reminder text.
Yes. So thank you so much. And I already know, there's so many different levels that you have already grown in. So
Yes.
it's only up from here. And you're doing amazing. So it's the self-love for me, okay? It's the self-love for me.
Yes, I mean self-love. The more self-love I give myself without the guilt, as Queen Alex said earlier. The
Yes.
guilt of not wanting to do it because I feel like, oh well, if I go take a bubble bath for 2 hours, what are my kids gonna do? You know, that's a big thing for me. But then it's like, well, no, I'm gonna take a bubble bath for 2 hours because I want to, and I just want to browse on my phone or something. You know, I can't be there for everybody like I used to be. So that was another big thing for me. I was there for everybody but myself. Now I say no without feeling guilty.
That's necessary. That's very necessary. You got to put those boundaries.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you continue getting in on your date night, and
Yes.
I love you so much, and
I
I
love
will.
you.
Yes, I will see you soon.
Okay, bye. I'm gonna post my number in the group for everybody, by the way, too.
Yes, yes, thank you. All right, so we have our final queen of the evening. Just an incredible, beautiful spirit, and I'm just so glad that she also chose me to be a part of her journey. Queen Veronica. Yes, I'll go ahead and get out of your way so you can share your experience.
Well, good evening. I've been looking forward to tonight for a little while. I'm Queen Veronica or Veronica. And all right, so what brought me to this program? So I actually found Angela on Facebook because of her book, the Black Foster Youth Handbook. It was something I was interested in, and I friended her. And one day on my news feed, I was going along, and I saw this. I saw her post about offering this purpose coaching, and I was curious. I was like, "What is that?" And as like Queens earlier said, that when you're kind of looking for a sign, one pops up. I think that was definitely the case for me. And after hearing a few stories, reading a few quotes, I was like, hey, I want that. I want that in my life. Because I think before doing the purpose coaching, I was struggling in some of my daily experiences, just kind of going through life a little bit unclear. I'm an advocate in child welfare, and it's something I am good at. I've been told that by many, many people, but it also just hasn't always sat 100% with me. Like, I know I'm good at it, but is that really why I'm here? And so this kind of came at a perfect time of when I was starting to ask those questions. And let's see, why did I stick with this process? So when I started, first of all, it's kind of scary to get onto a virtual space, not knowing anyone, and then kind of doing a deep dive of personal stuff, right? Your purpose, that journey to get there is pretty personal. You have to show up as your authentic self to get to that end goal, and that's not always easy. I'd also say this is, kind of an emotional roller coaster. I'd say between like maybe session 2 and 3, I felt like I was having like an existential crisis. I was like, who am I? I don't know who I am anymore. Because this journey has like required that I look at some hard truths, and have some brave conversations with myself, and also to become aware of the limitations that I've been putting on myself, and that was like really hard to face, to see. But after I got through that like growth patch that felt a little rough, after I got through that, I started seeing like a sense of clarity and a sense of putting myself first in like small decisions and small acts. And I would say even now some bigger life decisions. I think since starting this program, I took the leap of faith to become a plus size Indigenous yoga teacher. That was something that I did not believe that I could do. And after going through this, I was like, hey, you know what? I didn't think I could do this either. So this pushed me to that point of like, yes, I can do this. And I took that leap of faith. I also applied to grad school this week. Another thing that I have like had a lot of self-doubt about. And after becoming clear about my purpose and writing out that like vision for my future, I decided that, you know what, this is and this is in line with my future and my purpose, and so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take that next step. So yes, I would say I saw lots of results, and it was a really positive feeling to start recognizing and seeing myself again. And let's see, how have you personally changed, or how has my life changed since joining this program? Well, like I said just now, like lots of big life decisions, but also in like the small things of taking space for myself, making sure that, when I need some self-care, that I'm doing that, getting back to some things that bring me joy, like dancing and yoga and things like that. But there are two things that really stuck with me that I will be taking with me outside of this group. The first one was during a session when Amhila said, I'm not going to get the wording exactly right, but she said, you might venture away, you might walk away from your purpose, but it'll always call you back. I think that that's super important and something that I'm just going to remember, like those words are going to be in my brain for a long time. The other one that stood out that I'm going to make like a little inspirational poster out of this one, but it's if purpose is not in it, then I'm not going to be there. Having that mindset makes decision making pretty easy because you having that clarity around my divine purpose, and asking that question, it takes kind of the going back and forth of decision making out of it. So all of that to get to my life purpose, my vision, and my mission, which is I am a thriving, unapologetic, heart-led Indigenous powerhouse who supports the well-being journey of Indigenous people and those who have been impacted by the foster care system through reconnecting with and empowering self-love, purpose, mindful movement, and soul healing. And I'm so grateful for all the friends that I've made in this group. Like everyone said, this is just the beginning. I'm sure in the future there will be some super awesome collaboration of all of these beautiful queens, and I'm so grateful to be in this space. So thank you.
Hey, yes, out with a bang. Okay, period. You said Indigenous yoga teacher. Okay, yogi in the building. Okay, don't address me as just Queen Veronica, comma Indigenous yogi. Thank you. And yes, master school. What are you going back to school for?
I applied to the School of Social Work.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. This is truly amazing. I'm so excited. And that you said specifically about like the crisis of your existence. That is so, look, when I was going through it, I shared a little bit earlier today about that. I had so many, and that I feel like that's also what kind of grounded me was like, okay, what does this all mean? Because it does something to you when you go through a lot of trauma, you go through a lot of different things, and then it's like, who am I after all of this? Am I supposed to be doing, the things that I'm quote unquote good at, right? Or is there a deeper calling? Is there different elements of my story that are coming up that actually have been giving me windows into what my purpose actually is? Who is the community that I'm supposed to be serving, and why? Why am I supposed to be doing this? So I think it's so beautiful to see, like, I think in the beginning when you were just like, I don't really know how I feel about this, and like really anxious about it, and then like you just told me exactly what your purpose is in one sentence. So I don't know. I'm really excited for you. And I think that combining those two things as well, like the social work piece that you're going to be doing, and you've already had so much experience in that with your own self of intentionality and like grace and also power. Like in that is just going to be so liberating for the youth and, you know, others that you touch in your yoga work in this season. All right, because we already know about, you know, purpose evolves. So wonder what that's going to look like in the next season. So thank you so much, Veronica, Queen Veronica. So much love to you and this next season in life. All right. Well, I do want to just give a really huge thank you to each and every one of you beautiful, intelligent queens for, as I said, inviting me on to this journey with you. You know, it takes two to tango. So I had to say yes, you had to say yes, and we had to hold hands together and get through this, and we did. We're on this next journey now, you know, we've already discovered the purpose, and now that's really, you know, what is the legacy that we want to build, and what is the next step that we want to take in our purpose. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited to support. Queen Veronica, you already know you got to send that link to the group so we can support. Queen Alex, Queen Niche, you know, when you all start popping off, you know, you better send those links. I'm trying to tell you, better send those links because I'm gonna be sharing them to everyone that I know, period. So send those out. If anyone is, you know, in a place where they're not really sure about their purpose, then you can definitely check us out at consciouslymelanatedqueens.com. And yeah, I want to say thank you for joining us. That's all we have for tonight. Yes, and I just want to also say that, you know, it's a journey. It's not something that you can be finite in one particular thing. You can evolve. You can have multiple things going on at once. Like it doesn't have to be this, I'm going to be working at this thing for 10 years. And if I waver, then I'm not being authentic to myself. Like, no, that's you being even more authentic to yourself and recognizing that you are a multifaceted being. You have so many different levels to you, so many different stages in life that you're going to be in. And it's really constricting to give yourself this aspect of like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this XYZ for like 20, 30, 40 years. Like most of us are not built like that. So we really have to be honest with ourselves on like, what do we actually want to do? And how do we really want to show up in the world? And maybe that just means like in this season. And in the next season, that will be revealed to us. And we don't have to put so much pressure on 30, 40, 50 years. I mean, so much changes in that time. So that's not fair to us. So continue to pursue your purpose and continue to be authentically and unapologetically who you are at the core. And don't focus too much on what other people have to say or the box that society and maybe even family members try to put you in. You are unique, you are loved, you are valued, and you know, we'll see you next time on Consciously Melanated Queens. All right, peace, family.